Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of my Satisfactory playthrough. In this one, I tackle getting my smelters up and running. At this point, I end up with 6 banks of 9 smelters. It pretty much gives me 54 smelters, making 1,620 ingots a minute. I have enough iron ore coming in to do that, and then I set up the evener and the belting systems and everything else, and I show a lot of that stuff in this episode. This starts to build upon why I have an expandable belt evener system and why I do what I do. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the episode. If you do, hey, do the stuff, the like, the subscribe, all that fun stuff, and drop a chat. Let me know what you're thinking. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the other side. Alrighty. Hey everybody. I finally got to the point where I can make my smelting setup. I don't know whether anyone needs... Leave me a message down below if you need me to show you how to set up blueprints. And you'll notice that I have categories. Undefined, I just never put anything in it because I want that there in case I don't do my thing properly and put it into the right category. But you can make new categories, right? So, and then color code them and call them whatever you want. When laying blueprints down, they're very simple. Go to your blueprint. Watch the in and out arrows. Now, when I built this, you'll notice I didn't build it properly. I built it backwards. Welcome to it. But anyway, you get it close, and you press the H button. And then you can move around. See, I'm not quite there, so you arrow key it over. Right, and if I go one too many, it goes red. So that is the distance that a smelter needs to be away from the wall, though. So then once you're ready to go, just press the go key. Well, left mouse button. So once again, it's a fairly simple process after this to I thought I had my wall in the right spot. I guess I did. So I do 9 smelters per row, which works out really well with the MK3 belts, because an MK3 belt, that's too close, isn't it? Okay. An MK3 belt will hold 270 resources. Okay. Whenever I do any system myself, anyways, for my purposes, I list it. So I know that I have 8 belts of 240 coming in, which is 1,920 ore. Okay. Well, each one of these will take up 270. Okay. So my plan is to do 4 of them. Okay, which will take up 1,080. So I'll put a sign on the wall here that says what each one is taking up, and I might even put a total, just to organize myself, just to keep myself. I write almost everything I do on a separate sheet of paper, but I find that if I leave it in the actual game, I don't know about you, sometimes I forget stuff, lose things. The cat plays with stuff. I don't know. Kids come over and lots of stuff can happen. So I will leave myself notes in the actual game. Okay, so these are just a very simple setup, 3 in, 3 out. Because of the way a smelter works, these are going to be iron. It's 30 in, 30 out. So each one of these is 90, 9, 18, 27, 270. And that's how that works. Now, I could have put them a little bit closer, but with the way the walls work, if I would have put a wall here, right, then the splitters go like right next to each other. I mean, it's basically right there. And it's just not, it wasn't conducive. It wasn't going to work. I tried it, which is why I ended up redoing everything. I could have went taller with this area than what I did. And I could have fit 3 sets of smelters. I decided against it because it just gets too unwieldy. It gets too big for a single vertical. I don't know. It gets too much. I guess falling off becomes an issue because you could actually hurt yourself. Also, the stairways become an issue. Placing blueprints up here, if you don't have the space, it's almost impossible. So I put up temporary floors. And then blueprint. Just got to make sure it's coming the right way, right direction. I do believe that's right. Oh. There we go. I commonly, in the past, actually haven't blueprinted very much. Yeah, there we go. It gives you enough room to get up here and walk, and yet the belt, it's just a slight little bit of there's not much you can do about it. I do like the nudge, by the way. Awesome stuff. The devs really did a good job on that one. So, power. I run it, in this one I run it from the ceiling. Remember, I have different circuits running up here, which means that I have the light circuit, and then I have this as a separate. So you just got to make sure you don't cross it. Otherwise, you could be having part of your factory shut down on you, which would be horrible. Now, I don't overclock any of these. Kind of the whole reason the system is set up with this many is so that I never need to overclock. I could probably go with less. No thanks. Somewhere around episode, I don't know, 3, I showed a screenshot that I had done of the calculator and how much iron ore it really takes. Oops. Near the end of this. when you get to, you know, tuber motors and whatnot, and just how much it takes to have those systems working and in play. It's phenomenal. Astronomical is a better way of saying it. Okay. So that should be 4 banks. 270 each, 1 singular belt in each one. Giving me 270 times 4 basically per minute. I mean, it kind of comes out, although it's not exact, but in the wash it comes out to 1,080 gold ingots, or iron ingots per minute, which is cool. I have 10 belts, and I'm using up 4 of them. I'm going to need 1,080 coming in to get that done. Now remember, that's all the iron that's coming into the whole place, right? So I'm going to have 920 extra with which to run my steel, which is going to tell me these are overclocked, okay? Just because I was trying to keep up with myself. But a good way to think about it is if you do go, oops, might be the wrong thing. Let's go with the foundry. So it takes 45 per minute. I got 900. Okay, 920, but I got 900. I myself, out of the 1,920 I got coming in, I'm very willing to put 1,900 to work, meaning I'll be short 20. Okay, but that will keep all of the belts backed up so that I'm not straining my system. I like the math and how it works out that way. That will mean at 45 per, I could have 20 of these going. I don't need 20. Like, I really don't. Because once you make all of your belts, you don't really go dipping into that. This does get used for a few things later on. And so I make the system so that it's expandable and so that I can expand upon it. This is not the only section of iron belts coming in. I believe the screenshot that I have, yeah, okay, so in order to have 3 turbo motor buildings, 3 supercomputer, 3 battery, and I just picked 5 heavy modular frames. Just like, that's not everything that's going to be used. In that instance, you're going to need 45, almost 4,600 iron ore being made into ingots, about 4,000, and then 800, 1,300 steel. So you see me and my 1,900 coming in on these is nothing. Literally, it's a pittance. It's less than half of what I'm going to need. Now, I have 2 left over, okay, which will up the number. And what that's waiting for is these 2 mines when I stop using all of my beginning system, which will happen, by the way. Okay, this is all gone. This whole thing in here is all toast. The whole thing all the way out there, it's all going to be gone. The 2 belts I have open will be 240 apiece. I think these are normals. MK1 miners at 60, so MK2's at 120. I'll converge both of those belts to 240. And then, can I get up there? No. And then there's this mine and this mine, okay, which is impure. And that one's being tapped. That's right, up here. So I have an impure and 2 normals that I have yet to tap. I thought there was another. iron mine out here somewhere. This direction. 10 meters. 159. Yeah. That's those two. Okay, somewhere out here I have another mine that I'm going to be tapping. I had it in my head. Somewhere. Somewhere out here I got a mine that I'm going to be using. In other words, the last two positions in my 10 belt system, okay, is going to be 240 per. Okay, so that's these two right here, two empty holes. Okay, and I will be filling them. They will be used. So this will go to 1920 and 480. 1920 and 480 is eventually going to be 2400. That's about half of my calculation. Then I do another string of this later on down the road when the factory needs it. Okay, and that's all done. I might come up over here and then go this direction with it, and then go two sections. Okay, so this one will be all the splitters and whatnot, and then this whole section over here, past the road, will be the smelting. Same thing, 4 banks of 9. You get 1,080 out of it. That's 2,000 ingots, and then on top of that, more will have to go for steel. And then later on, I have a train that comes in, and then some section over here, which I don't have on my spreadsheet. That spreadsheet is looking pretty bare right now. Okay, but let me just drag that across. So this is my handy dandy spreadsheet. Now, well, I guess I could full size it. So I split up my basement level, and then first level, and then the top level is for the actual factory and for building things beyond ingots. These two levels are nothing but incoming and ingots. So as you can see, I've got most of my thinking. I mean, I don't know whether I'm going to have Caterium there. The trains may or may not take up the whole basement. They may or may not take up part of the first level. I'm not absolutely sure. On a totally different, I think it's under train. No, train station is 7 to 8 4-meter foundations tall, and then I also do screenshots of all the things that I need to build and all the rest of that sitting on this as well. How I load up my trains. This is an old save, so it's not going to matter. The refinery. I actually figure out cubic meters and everything else, rubber, plastic, crude oil into rubber, I figure out all that stuff. All the numbers will change. These are all numbers from a previous. These are all just, I've scrunched this down or shrunk it down and shown this on the channel a couple times because it shows you what your belts will handle and then what each individual mine with the miner and the overclocking. And then I do a floor plan of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to take care of it. And this side actually ended up being more iron over here. This one actually needs to be added iron. Okay, so I mean, this is how I figure out my stuff, because I don't know about you, but I can't keep all this in my head. Nor do I even want to try. There's a lot of things going on here. So I do it on a spreadsheet. I figure it out. Good. Good enough. I didn't know that I left myself enough room. Okay, where's my lights? Or is it now morning? I can't tell which way that sun's going. It's morning, that's why the lights shut off. I have my lights set to daytime, nighttime. Not because I need to save the power, because I'm not really having a power problem right now. It was more a... gee, I don't know. I don't know how to explain this one. I didn't want the lights on all the time. Ooh, that one's close. Why is that one closer than that? Oh, ha ha! I don't want those two connected. I'm sorry. I have to laugh at myself. Okay, that's fine. So, 2 separate lines connected up to all 3 means that this one's going to be running 270. A little bit of clipping. Nope, 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 not happening. Okay. There. Gonna work. I find that if I line everything up kind of painstakingly, like I have, things work better later on. Like when you go to hook up the rest of this stuff, it always seems to work a little better. Now, where are we at? So that's 1 and 2. Really? Okay, well I could go there. So that's not going to work. Okay. So go there. Now I could have used lifts, but okay. So Okay. I think we're good. That one's a little off. Okay, so that's a bank of 4. Fairly decent footprint. I mean, now I gotta do the outbound portion of it, and then that goes into this section, and it gets split up, and then it goes upstairs. Or not split up. Sorry, it gets balanced. Yes, I go balance again afterwards. Not quite sure whether I'm happy with just 4 banks. I'm not. I, in the past, have made this bigger and put 3 stacks. And actually on my last build, I can show you pictures where they stuck through the bottom of the floor. Uncool, by the way. I didn't like how that worked out. So this round, I decided to do it a little bit differently. So I'm thinking of doing 2 more. So Eric Berlin, I think, mentioned I was trying to use a 3rd stairway, and it would have gone straight through, and then it would have shown. So he mentioned using the ramp. Awesome idea, dude. Thanks. You rock. Because I don't know whether I would have thought of it. Let's just make it look good, by the way. So now, you. I can go up there. Nope. Wow. Still too slow. So every once in a while, as a little challenge to myself, I set a whole bunch of stuff up before testing. And well, that is effectively what I have just done. So the other 1, 2, 3, 4 lines are for steel production. Okay. Steel production is right over here. In this square right here. This is where steel production is going to take place. So I can run those belts right along the ceiling, avoiding whatchamacallit here. How many I can run? Okay. And then I'll bring those down. That's steel. Bring that down into here, and then I add 4 coal mines to it, 4 coal veins to match whatever I got running out of here. If I ever want to choke something, meaning I'll cut it back to, let's say, an MK2. For just a, all you need is in a short section. It'll slow down the whole belt. So the plan here is to just fire this up. Believe it or not. That's the plan. So let's see if I have done my proverbial shtick properly. Don't have a need for steel to be set up quite yet, but I left this undone. Okay, there we go. So I should be pulling 1620. And it should be inputting 1920. Oh, first customer. Fairly even. Remember, I'm only 8 belts in. 10 belts out. And I'm not doing anything with the ingots as yet. Top side. Ah. I wanted to check for mistakes first. And I found a couple. Didn't set up recipes on these guys. Okay, smoke coming out of everything. Ingots. Ingots and smoke, ingots and smoke. Okay, everything's running pretty smooth. Bolts are fairly full. Looking good. Now, there's a lot of stuff backed up right now, such as the 4 that I have going off to the metal area, those 4 in the background. This is all going to come to a grinding halt fairly quickly here. The bottom one's not. Oh, well, that would help, wouldn't it? Like I said, mistakes. Miss a belt here, miss a belt there. MK1. Really? Well, that would definitely put a damper on things. How did I get an MK1 lift in there? Yeah, troubleshooting. Okay, so this is a fairly simple system. You can do it one of 2 ways. So you can have the merger point out, meaning that's an in, that's an in, and that's an in. This is your out. And then you set up. Usually right off the roadway. That's pretty straight. Okay, so it'll be this line now. We'll be drawing from all 3 of these. all 3 of these are running on... Wow. Boy, did I ever schlep out, didn't I? Like I was rushing to try and get it done. Okay. No power. That sure puts a damper on things, doesn't it? How can we not have power? Ah, because I missed it. Everything else is powered. There. Yeah, I find this is the easiest time to check it, because if you got an empty belt, you know you've done something wrong. So in theory, according to my math and all the rest of that, that's all that I need for a six tall. So you need 3. We'll do it perfectly in 1 stack. If you go 4, you gotta go 1 more. 5, you gotta go 1 more. 6, you gotta go 1 more. Because I'm here, though, in this square and what I'm doing, I'm going to end up splitting it 1 more time. I don't need to, but I'm going to. Okay, so, I mean, I could do it 1 more just for just for, I don't know. So it looks the same, looks even, but here's the thing. Now I have to put it downstairs or upstairs. Upstairs, right, up into the logistic level. In order to do that, because of where I'm at with the lights and whatnot, I need 6 holes in the floor to go upstairs. Remember that this level is for taking a raw commodity and turning it into its next, which is why crystal comes in and gets turned into its next. See what I'm going at there? Now, yes, these are finished products. You know what I mean? They get used, you know, in your inventory, unlike ingots, which don't. But if you look at the size of the system that it took to get this into ingots, 6 high, with 4 coming out down here in this area. I'm going to be making the steel smelting plant for smelting steel, and I'll get steel ingots, and those steel ingots will go upstairs into the logistic level, and then from the logistic level they will go. And yeah, I would back off that autosave, but I just don't want to. Sorry. So in the logistic level, things just move around. Meaning these end commodities will be looking for a home in the mall. I'm just going to move that off to the side so I can keep it up and stare at it. So I'm going to shut this episode down here. I go on to hook up the crystal and the silica into my maul at this point in time. That was the picture that I floated by. That was the picture of my maul, so I can, anyways, because I'm probably going to skip past that and just go on to, in the next episode. I do believe I'm going to tackle steel, and I'm hoping to get to iron plates, iron rods, and screws. Now, a lot of times in my playthroughs, and if you watch my channel, I cut out a lot of farming. I cut out a lot of, I trim the fat. I get rid of stuff that I figure you don't want to watch. Well, I left a lot of this in because I wanted to show you how I built it, like how it comes out, how I do my math, why, a lot of times why I do my math and why I do the things I do. But as you can tell, this build is going to get exponentially bigger and bigger and bigger. That one picture I showed partway through, that's not everything that's endgame. So that 6,000 or so ingots that I'm going to, and then ramp that up to about 12. My projections are about 15,000 to 18,000 iron ingots by basically the end game. And then, I mean, what are they going to bring out? You know, what are they going to come out that's new? Yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, there's always newer ways to bring stuff into your factory, but it's getting that all done. But anyways, I hope you're enjoying the episodes. Please drop a chat. If you're liking the episodes, you know, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Help out the channel and the algorithm. And have yourself a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next one.